Okay, number 62. We've got 4n to the 4th minus 12n squared plus 9. 4n to the 4th minus 12n squared plus 9. We always need to look for GCF first. Numerically, we don't have one. 4, 12, and 9 do not have a common factor. We would think that based on that exponent that maybe we would have a variable GCF into the 4th. We haven't really dealt with that yet, but our last term doesn't have a variable, so we don't have a variable GCF either, so that means that our only option is to just start factoring. This is something called a quadratic form. Okay, this is called quadratic form. Just so you kind of have that term in the back of your head, and I just so did not spell quadratic right. Skipped a few letters there. Quadratic. There we go. That's what happens when your mind's about 5 steps ahead of your hand. All right. So we got to figure out what times what equals 4n to the 4th. Well, let's see here. I'm going to start with 2 and 2 just to see. Now, usually we just put a plain variable, okay, but n times n does not give us n to the 4th. N times n only gives us n squared. But n squared times n squared gives us n to the 4th. Okay, so factors of 9. We got 9 and 1, and we got 3 and 3. In this case, I believe 3 and 3 is what's going to work for us because we have the same signs and they're both negative. So if we check it real fast, the outside gives us negative 6n squared. The inside gives us negative 6n squared. So those two together give us the negative 12n squared. And negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. So this is actually a perfect square trinomial as well. So we need to write it as 2n squared minus 3 squared. Okay, we just have a little higher power of an exponent there. Okay, with 63, we can also do this with two variables. Bless you. Okay, we looked at a two-variable example yesterday, but let's look at another one. X to the 4th plus 2x squared y squared plus y to the 4th. So let's approach it with the same method here. X squared times x squared is what's going to give us x to the 4th. Y squared times y squared is going to give us y to the 4th. We have the same signs, and they're both positive. If you check it really quickly, check the outside. That gives you x squared y squared. The inside gives you x squared y squared. Those two put together give you 2x squared y squared. So this is x squared plus y squared squared. Okay? All right, questions about that? A little different from anything we've seen, but it's got the same principles. You're always just asking yourself, what can I multiply together to get that result? Okay, so